Hey all, here are OS Reviews. You're watching our video review of the Mangoslab Nemonic. This is a very cute sticky note printer that's going to be great for the office, great for school, purposes where you're oftentimes working out experimental thoughts, creativity, and innovation, and you want to print out quick little notes. This can also be used, of course, to print out, say, small photos. It does have a lot of different applications. It is also a wireless unit that can connect using a Bluetooth app on your smartphone, either iOS or Android. Also works with computers. Now, it does come in a number of different colors, including blue and green, and also a pink edition. The app does allow you to edit and crop, which we'll take a closer look at later on this video, and other creative ideas include printing out images and stitching them together to create a mosaic pattern, which is a very cool additional application. The printer itself, part of the reason why it's so small is because it doesn't require any ink cartridges. Instead, the paper itself is thermal sensitive, so the printer just applies heat at varying degrees and the notes themselves will come out looking like they're printed on. The other interesting thing here is the company, Mangoslab, is actually funded and is a subsidiary of Samsung, and as a result, this is actually manufactured and made in Korea. Just a rapid unboxing here. Inside we do have a quick instruction manual. Then we've got just the very cute sticky note printer itself, followed by the AC power adapter. Now I believe this printer, even though it is wireless and it's very compact, it doesn't have a rechargeable battery, so it does need to be plugged in. Finally, we've got just a roll of that thermal paper. Now, taking a closer look at the design of the sticky note printer here, we have a very interesting wavy pattern on the top, which just makes it look ultra cute. We have two LEDs in the base here that will tell us the status of power and when it's printing. Here's, of course, what the paper comes out of, and there's also kind of a print key that you can tap on. The side here features a lock that you can pull on to open up the latch for popping in the printer's paper. Just set it down and it kind of locks into place with a satisfying click because of the magnets, and it also has two arrows on the sides. That means that it is in the correct spot. Just poke it through this little hole here on the top, and then basically you're ready to go. Just close up the printer. So it's a super simple assembly process. And on the back here is where we have the kind of AC power port and also the USB port if you want to connect this onto your computer and you're using it as basically a wired printer as opposed to connecting it using Bluetooth. Finally, there is just a power on-off key that you can tap on for 2 seconds to turn it on. The clever thing here is somehow the paper that they're using has been pre-cut. And then just like on a regular sticky note, if you turn it onto the back and look closely, there's a top sliver here which is adhesive. So there's a portion on here that's sticky and can be attached onto any surface. You can also dispense blank stickies without even printing anything. So I can tap on this key right now, for example. I'm not connected to anything, and it's just going to print out a regular blank note that has also been pre-cut, really easy to take, and I can jot down any notes on it just like I would use with a regular sticky note pad with a ballpoint pen. Let's take a closer look at the Mnemonic app, which is just extremely cool. It's also very cute, just like the printer itself, in terms of its font, and it gives us a plethora of features that we can go into. In terms of templates, you can take a look at some designs that they have provided that can be of assistance for you to quickly print out. So for example, if we take a look at the calendar for 2020, right now it's March, I can actually select this and it will try and print out a mini calendar, which is very cool. I can interact with this calendar directly. So for example, I can mark on a particular date, such as say the 20th, and kind of draw it in using my finger or a stylus. I can also change the thickness of the line to make it slightly thinner as well. As you can see, I can change also the style of the line to make it a different texture, whether that's a dot, kind of a scribble. So I can actually change that depending on what I want to use. And I can of course also erase all of these doodles on top, but still keep the template underneath visible. I can also tap on a text box here to basically type something in, such as test, for example, and if I'm satisfied, I can actually drag this little text box around in terms of its position onto the note. Same thing goes, I can change the font in addition to the size of the text as well to make it larger or smaller. So I can tap on either the save key down below, that's going to save it onto that main homepage that you saw previously. I can rotate the sticky note to a different orientation, and the little dot here will display which direction is the top that it will print out from. So let's keep it like this. This will be a preview screen that tells us it's printing right now on a white sticky note, and I can also change the number of copies. Say I want to print out 2 copies instead of 1, I can do that here as well. But let's tap on print. It's going to send that information over using Bluetooth, but will still work pretty well. You see the dots flash, and afterwards it's done. It does produce a little bit of noise because it kind of cuts the paper, so it's not completely silent, but overall not too bad either. So here is the result of that March calendar, and surprisingly, despite being a sticky note in size, everything is still very much legible. And the sticky adhesive does work very well. Other kind of templates that we can take a look at include anniversary. Lots of neat designs that we can mess around with, including birthday. There's other ones for various holidays like Happy New Year. Right now it's the Year of the Pig in the lunar calendar. Halloween, summer, ABC. So you can customize different holidays and numbers to your liking. And once again, it's going to take a few seconds to send over that information, and afterwards this is what it looks like. Other templates here, if we take a look at the form, it also gives us different grids that we can print out. If I want to take a look at, this is the measurement in centimeters, so it's going to be correct sizes to a centimeter measurement. There's other ones here which is still kind of a square shape. I can also print out kind of a receipt format if I wanted to. You can let people write out a small review and check their services, things like that. You can also create different templates of various interfaces. So if you are a UI UX designer, you're able to design different splash screens using your hands and then print out your ideas. Illustrations here provide some additional cute little memos and patterns which look quite good in black and white, things like flowers and other things to decorate smaller things with. There's also a letter form, to or from, another good application. And there's also a study one, which is, again, going to show you different ones for kind of notes if you are a musician, other ones for kind of mathematical purposes, like a Cartesian grid. So all of these are kind of interesting. Another one here almost looks like a scanner for scantrons or multiple choice quizzes that teachers may give, and this kind of provides that same format. So you can create your own test sheets, which is very interesting application. Symbols, just an oversized symbol for people to see. Timetables, which just shows you kind of perhaps when you were in the office, when you left, a quick little agenda throughout the week. A very simple to-do list, which is a great application. And memo is just a very generic one, but shows also other patterns that potentially can make things a little more interesting if you want to print out a cute memo pad. So for example, let's say this little dog/cat paw. There we go. Just like magic, we have yet another little sticky which has been printed. Under tools, you're able to also create your own to-do list format. You can also generate a QR code yourself, which is very cool. Let's say it's going to be a link to our video here of the Samsung Galaxy A10e. Let's tap on share. I'm going to copy this link over and go back onto the Mnemonic app. And then in terms of the contents, let's try and paste that in. It's going to be basically a link, and now it's generated into a QR code. And then taking a look at this little QR code that we've generated, and indeed, it's taking us to this YouTube website. And as you can see here, it's going to play back this video without any issues. I can also make this into a barcode if I wanted to. I can also print out websites. I can also change the font size. Let's make it a little bit larger to see, cropping it into 183%. And if I tap on the print icon, it's going to take a snapshot of what it looks like, and it's actually going to be scattered across 10 different stickies in this case. But we can also deselect certain pages and not print those out if we're not interested. So we see the blinking light, that means it's still receiving the data, and now it's printing it out. The first sheet here has been transferred over. Now the second one is over, and we should be done. So still pretty fast. Printing has been completed. So as aforementioned, if you are in the office, you're trying to prototype different ideas, this is a great way to add additional information and jot down those ideas and stick them onto the page. The last tool here is called the Nemonic Mosaic, which creates, again, that image that's going to be scattered across all of these different stickies. So it basically splits it apart and allows you to print out a larger surface area of an artwork, a photo, or perhaps a portrait. Let's try printing out this flower here that we can actually drag around and crop as before we are printing it to get the kind of best placement that we think is ideal. So there it is, that's the first image, and it's going to display that as an icon that tells us we're done there. So tap to proceed to print next. So it does wait for you to actually press next before printing, which is good, as opposed to jutting out all of these notes if you're not ready. You can actually print these in different order as well. So you can tap on the next icon, it can be a different square if I wanted it to be. So you can control the sequence if you're, say, hanging it up and you want to print it vertically or horizontally. You can click on the next photo in the mosaic. And there we have it, the result of the collage fully printed out and just stuck onto the wall. You can see that it does form an image that looks pretty interesting from afar. The further that you stand from it, the more obvious what you're looking at. Anyways, it is a very artistic kind of result that looks quite good. If you want to put it into a bedroom, into a living room, as a way to decorate an office, it can create some modern looking artwork. A quick look at the computer application, which can be downloaded from Mnemonic's website. It's quite clever in the sense that it really resembles a virtual sticky note, so you're able to add various comments and descriptions. You can even create new notes, and they can just be used to store various quick pieces of information on your computer screen without even printing them out. Other things that you can adjust include tapping on these three bars to change the color of these stickies, so you can correlate different colors to do different tasks, for example, for organization purposes. You can change the number of copies that perhaps you want to print out for this sticky, and I can even do a screenshot, which is a pretty cool feature. So you can tap on this, and it will pop up as a virtual box of the area that you will be basically capturing in. Finally, you can also adjust the size of the sticky note by expanding on this box by dragging along, and you're able to, for example, capture more within the screenshot. So that's more or less it for our review of the Mangoslab Nemonic Sticky Note Printer, a surprisingly useful little desk gadget. Some of the previous ones that we just printed out, I've actually attached onto a card, can become, again, a good way to customize even your own thank you and birthday cards, even for the purposes of adding additional, again, notes as you would with stickies, except with templates. It's a lot more organized and tidy looking, not to mention small kind of images that you can attach onto the side to reference as notes as well. That definitely could be worth a closer look for students and professionals alike. So if interested, you can check out more details in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Mangoslab Nemonic Sticky Note Printer.